The job advice you hear from a lot of people doesn't really apply to our field. Maybe you don't have any experience and maybe you're not like ready to apply for internships or volunteering, but maybe you're really worried about this career. One of the main things you've probably been doing if you're like a lot of people is just keep applying and applying to jobs and just getting more experience. If you are getting angry, disappointed, frustrated, bitter, second guessing whether you have what it takes to go into this career. Maybe if you're thinking about giving it all up, is this worth it? I am here to flip that. There's nothing wrong with you. You have what it takes. It's just that you haven't figured out the system. There's just so much essential information. This is really the most crucial, most important stuff. If you do these three things, it's going to be honestly very hard for you not to get a permanent job. What I found out is that the world was not my oyster. And I was not getting interviews at first. I was shocked at how difficult it was. For every 3 jobs I applied to, I got an interview. But I was really selective about the jobs that I applied to, and I put a lot of effort into those jobs. Even though I have this PhD, I didn't have the experience to apply for a lot of these jobs. I have a PhD, and by the time I finished, I had 7 years of experience. I realized is the interviews that I got were the ones that I was really qualified for. I'm going to tell you exactly where I went wrong and where I see other people going wrong. I met 2 people who got their degrees in conservation, and one of them's working at a grocery store, another one is working in mental health, and they're like, it just wasn't realistic for me to do it. It wouldn't work out. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy or you're not going to have to put in the work or effort, but it can work out for you. You can get a job without a master's. And I just heard actually from 2 more people this week that they got their dream jobs too. You need to take what professors say with a grain of salt because they might be there for decades and the job market has changed so much. Nobody told me during graduate school that it would be competitive for me to get a job. So you got to work on the strategy of getting a job. The way Jane Goodall does research is not really done anymore. What I didn't realize was how much wildlife careers were like theater careers because there's a lot of volunteer unpaid positions. If I really want to continue working on elephants and do my research on elephants, then I should be willing to move wherever the jobs are. It's just really important to like know the jobs out there before you jump into getting a degree, before you go down this path, because you could end up wasting time and money. I know people who have done their PhDs, who've done their master's degrees on really cool animals like elk, grizzly bears, and they have never seen one in the wild. What I really want to emphasize tonight is that wildlife jobs are incredibly nuanced and diverse. My purpose is to help you guys get your dream jobs, to understand what it is that you want to do, prepare you for it, and not only just get the job, but become the best version of yourself. There's so many options out there, and you only have a limited number of times. Knowing about all of the options out there and knowing what makes you competitive for those careers so that you can get those skills. Study the jobs out there. Not only knowing where your passion lies, but can you get a job from your passion? If you know you want to study wolves, then don't mess around. Get the experience to study wolves. Don't get experience studying pollinators. Get experience that will get you that wolf job because those jobs are so competitive. Those who have the most experience for a job and are able to demonstrate that to the employer get it. You can't get a job even with who you know without experience. So if you're brand new to this field or if you're going into this field, you might be like, what? 7 jobs? 7 jobs before I get a permanent job? Paid positions give you more skills that are associated with permanent jobs than unpaid positions. You are trying to get a job, but jobs require experience. So you can't get a job because you have no experience. So then you try to get experience, but how are you going to get experience because you don't have a job? Are they going to give you the skills that you need to get the jobs that you want? You're not necessarily going to get the skills that you need for the jobs that you want, but you can craft and you can choose your volunteering more carefully to make sure that you do. Identifying and understanding your wildlife dream job is the most effective and certain way to get a permanent job in wildlife careers. If you want to work with gorillas, if you want to work with wolves, that could be competitive and it might take you some time. But if you're stubborn enough, if you keep at it long enough, if you keep doing these things, it will happen for you. It's not just about getting the job. It is about loving your job. You want to begin with the end in mind. A lot of people don't understand what the jobs are actually like. And this goes for research too. To be honest, I didn't fully understand what research was until I was in the midst of my PhD. Gorilla researchers are not going to be abundant like water quality jobs or environmental consulting jobs. So as we talked extensively about experience, having the right experience, that's why I call it applicable experience, not just any experience, but the right experience. If I'm applying for a mammologist job in North Carolina and I know the best elephant experts in the world, is that going to help me get a job in North Carolina? No. You want to work with big cats, sharks, marine mammals, elephants, primates, carnivores. Those are charismatic animals that you will have to network. Networking is so important for that. A lot of times getting a PhD can actually make you less competitive for jobs. If they did a job search and they have your application and they're not interviewing you, you don't have what they want for the job. You're not emphasizing what you did, what you implemented, what you changed, all of these things. What you need to do on your job applications is you need to fully express yourself. You need to express all of the important things you've done. You need to make it relevant to the jobs that you're applying for. And you need to speak highly of yourself. Where a lot of people say that they lack experience, it's actually that their job application is just not good enough to get them interviews. The clarity strategy application framework that we learned can solve all the problems in wildlife fields that you're experiencing. Nobody taught you how to apply for jobs. And even if somebody told you how to apply for jobs, chances are it's not a wildlife person and the advice does not apply to our field. They'll put something on their resume like data analysis. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean creating a pie graph? Because that's data analysis. Or does that mean running occupancy models? Those are two very different things. Remember, the paid jobs predict success. And the faster you get these jobs, you increase the probability of getting a permanent job. It's not quantity. It's about how you present yourself, how you prepare yourself, how you translate yourself. So that means they stood out of the stack. You don't learn this in college. You don't learn this in graduate school. I show you what it's like on the other side. I don't hold back at all.